This image, dated November 1941, shows a crowd at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge near Goldbridge, British Columbia. In the middle of the throng to the right is a curiously dressed hipster wearing what looks like a printed t-shirt, modern sunglasses, and, most interestingly, holding what looked to be a compact camera, which was, of course, almost non-existent around this date. The image was first made available to the public in 2004 when it was featured in the Barlorn Pioneer Museum's exhibit, Their Past Lives Here. When the museum digitized and placed online the collection that included this picture in 2010, some internet users noted that a man in the photograph appeared to be dressed far too modern for 1940. The idea that the man in the photograph is a time traveler hinges on 3 items he is seen wearing or holding that appear to be of too modern a vintage for the 1940s: a logo t-shirt, a small portable camera, and wraparound sunglasses. But all of those items were readily available in the 1940s. His t-shirt, for instance, bears the logo of the Montreal Maroons, a temporally appropriate hockey team that played in the NHL from 1924 to 1938, as seen here. Glasses with protective side shields were also available in the 1940s. While this style of eyewear was not yet widespread, it is more plausible that the photograph shows a man of his time with unusual fashion sense, rather than a time traveler. The final nail in this time traveler's coffin comes to us courtesy of Kodak. While many viewers assumed that the camera that the man is shown holding is simply too small to have existed in the 1940s, Kodak did in fact make several portable cameras that small, which were available beginning in 1941. The lights of Hessdalen Valley in Norway started appearing late 1981 when Åge and Rut-Mary Moe described seeing a burning fireball in the evening sky. A strange light phenomena with multicolored illuminations standing or floating about ground level has been reported at the Hessdalen Valley in Norway since the 1940s. The lights have been a big hit with tourists in Scandinavia, especially between 1981 and 1984 when activity was at its peak. During this 3-year period, the spectacle occurred more than 20 times per week and has been photographed by countless onlookers. Local people reported seeing the Hessdalen lights down in the valley, sometimes close to their houses. Despite the masses of pictorial evidence, scientists and researchers have failed to settle on an unequivocal explanation for the illuminations. Some believe it's caused by a cloud of ions and electrons, but further study is needed. Local people reported seeing the Hessdalen lights down in the valley, sometimes close to their houses. The Hessdalen light phenomenon soon became known to the broader public, thanks to newspaper articles, magazines, and photographic media internationally. People arrived in the valley hoping to see the lights for themselves, and many of them did. The Madonna of St. Giovannino is a religious painting that highlights the figure of the Virgin Mary with 2 children, Jesus and Juan. The painting dates from the 15th century and was painted by Domenico Ghirlandaio, where, behind the religious image, a strange flying object with flashes of light can be seen in the upper right part, and below a man with his arm raised, looking at it. And the man has his arm raised as if he were trying to block the sun to see better the object that is in the sky. This painting is more than 500 years old and dates long before any man-made flying machine was developed. Perhaps our artist had some knowledge about strange phenomena that his contemporaries may have seen in the sky, and because of this, they associated it with divine images. And for that reason, without words and symbolically, he decided to express it with his brush. What could have led Ghirlandaio to paint something so special that it captures the attention of the man and his dog over the presence of the Virgin Mary? In 2000, an anonymous woman mailed 2 photographs to the police of what she believed to be an escaped orangutan in her backyard. The animal was never caught or identified through such pictures became popular among Bigfoot enthusiasts as skunk ape photos. The anonymous woman mailed the 2 photographs to the Sheriff's Department of Sarasota County, Florida, along with a letter in which she complained that the animal entered her backyard on 3 different nights and stole apples. The skunk ape, also known as the swamp cabbage man, stink ape, Florida Bigfoot, or Mayaka skunk ape, is said to be a hominid cryptid believed to be found in Florida, North Carolina, and Arkansas. It is claimed that its appearance is accompanied by a very unpleasant odor. Before 2000, reports of sightings were quite common in the 1960s and 1970s. In 1974, a sighting of large, foul-smelling, hairy creature walking on 2 legs was reported in the suburbs of Dade County, Florida. The mystery of the babushka lady has captured the imagination of conspiracy theorists and amateur sleuths for decades. There are many theories about her identity, and each one adds a new layer of intrigue to the story of the assassination. In 1963, an unidentified woman wearing a headscarf similar to that worn by Russian women, giving her the nickname Babushka Lady, was seen in various films and photographs taken at that time. She is seen to be holding a camera and standing on the grass between Elm and Main Street. After the assassination, she was seen crossing Elm Street. None of any photographs or films taken clearly captured her face because she was either facing away from the camera or had her face obscured by her own camera. Some people believe that the babushka lady was a government agent who was part of the conspiracy to assassinate Kennedy. They argue that her camera was not a normal consumer model, but rather a specialized device that could be used for espionage. According to this theory, the babushka lady was instructed to film the assassination so that the conspirators could later study the footage and make sure that everything went according to plan. Others believe that the babushka lady was an innocent bystander who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. They argue that her reluctance to come forward and share her footage was due to a fear of retribution from the government or the conspirators. Despite the many theories about her identity, no one has been able to definitively identify the babushka lady. In the decades since the assassination, numerous people have come forward claiming to be the babushka lady, but none of these claims have been substantiated. That's it for today's spooky episode. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button for more eerie stories and unexplained mysteries. Until next time, keep your lights on, or don't.